Hello, everyone. This is BJ Boyer from Basketball Society here. I'm here with my guy, Alec Walt, for the very first episode of Society Sitdown. Hot topics, hot takes, hot debates, all for you right here tonight. So basically, the concept of this show, we're going to be discussing topics every single week, different topics every single week, with this week's theme being this year's rookie class. Him and I are going to give our thoughts on a lot of different questions and issues and whatever may arise during the week. And we're just basically going to debate, go at it, give our thoughts, do it respectfully, throw out some facts, some opinions, some stats, and hope that you guys enjoy the show. So we're doing this via Basketball Society. Make sure you hit us with that follow on Twitter at @bballsociety_. If you would like to follow myself on Twitter, I am at WCBoyer24. And Walt, you want to give them your...
I'm just at Alec Walt.
Sweet and simple, man. I like that. I can dig it. So let's hop right into it. Obviously, we're thinking that this year's Rookie of the Year race is going to be a lot more compelling than last year's was. It was basically a runaway until Joel Embiid got hurt. So right off the bat, Walt, let me hear your top 3 candidates for Rookie of the Year, and who do you think is ultimately going to win the award?
My top 3 is number 1, I got Ben Simmons, number 2, Lonzo Ball, and number 3, Markelle Fultz. The reason I got these 3 in it is because if you look at the top of the draft, Tatum's not starting, Fox, who knows if he's starting, Isaac, you don't know if he's starting. These 3 guys are going to have the ball in their hands a lot. Simmons and Fultz, we don't exactly know who's going to be the primary point guard. They're both going to bring the ball up a lot. Simmons is a point forward. Fultz is a combo forward. I think Fultz is going to bring the ball up a little bit more, which is why I have him above. But it really came down to Simmons or Ball for me. And Simmons is in a significantly easier conference. He's going to have a much easier schedule. He's got the Knicks and the Nets in his division. And if you look at the Eastern Conference, the Sixers do technically have a chance to make the playoffs. And if they do make the playoffs, it's going to be on the shoulders of Ben Simmons. And I think the Sixers are going to be pretty decent. They're going to be significantly better this year than they were last year. And I think Simmons is the guy who's going to take home Rookie of the Year.
I like that. I think Ben Simmons is going to be, I don't know, I feel like he's a very divisive rookie. One side of the spectrum, I want to say that I think he's going to be awesome. I think he's going to be everything that we dreamed of and more. But then I also feel like he has a little potential to be underwhelming in the sense of maybe that of a scorer. Now, he's shown increased range and an improved jump shot on Instagram, but it's one thing to show it on social media in a practice facility as opposed to doing it in a game. So we'll see. He'll be marching onto the floor, obviously, for his first time. He underwent foot surgery last season, never saw the court. And he's in my top 3 as well. My order's a little bit different than yours. I would go Lonzo, then Simmons, and then actually at 3 I have Dennis Smith Jr., who was absolutely electric in the NBA Summer League, looked very, very good, has good size and explosiveness and athletic ability for a point guard, which is absolutely instrumental in the league today to be able to score the ball and do it a la. He reminds me of a pre-ACL injury Derrick Rose in terms of athletic ability and ability to get to the rim and just kind of rise up. I agree with your statement that both Simmons and Lonzo, they're going to have the ball in their hands a lot. And ironically, they kind of do a lot of the same things from a playmaking standpoint. I'm interested to see between the 2 of them who finds it more of a challenge to score. Simmons is obviously bigger, stronger. He's going to be a matchup nightmare for slower power forwards and smaller small forwards. So I think that he may find it a little bit easier to score the basketball, but Lonzo's going to be afforded a lot of opportunities to do so. He's going to be engineering the offense completely. A lot of teams, I think, are going to go under on those screens, on those high screen and rolls, and it's up to him to knock down that 3-point shot, and that would, determine how effectively he scores his first year in the NBA.
Well, you just brought it up right there. I think one of the reasons why he doesn't win Rookie of the Year is because I think his shot's going to be very good in his first year in the league. I do think his jump shot will develop over time, but a lot of players are going to be targeting Lonzo. Not as a lot of people are going to want to play again. A lot are going to beat him. I mean, that's just the kind of guy he is. He came into the league with a little bit of a reputation because of a lot had to do with his father. But I do not think Lonzo's shot is going to adjust that quickly. I think Simmons, the fact that he's so big, is going to help. He's been training with LeBron James, and he's a guy that's kind of helped mentor him a little bit. If you're going to learn how to drive the lane, the guy you want to learn from is LeBron. He's big, he's strong, he's explosive, and I think that experience is going to help him, and I think ball shot is going to hurt him.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. So staying with the Rookie of the Year theme, I want to ask you, whose chances of winning the award is hyped up and whose chances are being overlooked?
I think hyped up is De'Aaron Fox, and I don't know if he's going to start. I also think he's way too small. He needs to gain a lot of weight. Can't gain it too quickly because Ben Simmons did that last year and broke his foot. This guy's got a ton of hype. He's a Kentucky. I mean, he played for John Calipari last year at the University of Kentucky. Every Kentucky prospect that comes out of the draft is extremely overhyped. But he shot 24.6% from three-point line last year. And I think he's going to be a very good player, but I think people are hyping him up too much because of where he went to school.
And that's interesting because he's my overlooked. But let's move on to your overlooked first before I go.
I think Lauri Markkanen, because of the position he's in, he got traded. Basically, the pick included was for Jimmy Butler to go to the Minnesota Timberwolves. A lot of people thought Chicago were complete losers in that trade, which I do agree with that they are, but they did get a pretty decent return. Lauri Markkanen's a good player. He can stop and pop. He can shoot, or jump, or shoot off the pass. He's a very, very good shooter, high release. He can also drive. He's very aggressive. He can jump hook down low. This guy's he's impressed me. I started watching Arizona a lot last year because I became a Markkanen fan as I watched college basketball. And I think he's very overlooked because of the trade. But trust me, I think Lauri Markkanen is going to be a very good shot. Over 42% from three last year in college basketball.
Interesting. I like Lauri Markkanen a lot. His rebounding prowess kind of surprised me at the summer league. I was surprised to see him hit the glass as ferociously as he did. But I'm going to mention him later in another capacity. So I'm going to move on to my hype, which might bother a few Sixers fans here. But I'm going to go with Markelle Fultz, not because I don't like him as a prospect, not because I'm trying to say he's a bad player or could be a bust. I just don't like his chances because, A, he has a top two guy for Rookie of the Year on his team in Ben Simmons. And B, I'm just not sure how often he's going to have the ball in his hands and the abundance of opportunities he's going to get. I mean, let's face it. We know Ben is going to have the ball. And we know that Embiid is going to be the focal point. Then you still have guys like J.J. Redick, a veteran who's going to be expecting a lot of shots. And I'm sure the Sixers are going to run a lot of action for him because he's probably he is their best shooter, and they don't have a great depth of shooters on their team. Then you have a guy like Sarge, who we saw last year can do a lot on the court with the ball, who's capable of scoring, passing, and rebounding very effectively. So Markelle Fultz is, yes, he's the first pick in his draft. We love his upside. We love how easy he makes scoring look. And, he just does it so effortlessly. But how many opportunities is he going to get? It's going to be a lot of fluctuation. I mean, think about it. There's going to be nights where he may get 12 to 15 shots. Then another night, he may get 7 or 8. These are young guys. They have to figure out the pecking order and whose team it is. And I do think that Markelle Fultz can excel off the ball. I think he can be a fantastic off-the-ball player. I just think it's going to take some time to figure it out, which ultimately may hamper his Rookie of the Year chances this season. And for overlooked, I'm going to go with the guy that you said was hyped. My guy, De'Aaron Fox. I think De'Aaron Fox could potentially have the best career out of any player selected in this draft. I'm very, very big on him. Yes, his jump shot is bricky. He can't shoot consistently. He's not a consistent threat from the perimeter. But I love his quickness, his athletic ability, and what has me most excited about watching him play in the NBA is the pairing of him and Buddy Hield in the backcourt. I think that can be a very dynamic offensive backcourt. Buddy Hield kind of staggered out the gate last season with New Orleans, but he really found his footing down the stretch with Sacramento. And I think that there's the cloud of DeMarcus Cousins has now danced away from over Sacktown, and I think that they're ready to usher in a new era under a new regime that is De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield and Giles and Scala Bizier and all those young guys that they have stocked up there. So I really like De'Aaron Fox's chances. I think that he's going to be somebody that is electric in his rookie season and kind of surprises some people.
I'm surprised that you said that. I understand he's probably the fastest prospect of any of the point guards. He's got the ability. He's got John Wall type speed. But I don't think he's John Wall, and I think he's getting those comparisons throughout. He's been getting those comparisons throughout this entire draft process.
And I think that is a little bit unfair. You know, I'm not a fan of those comparisons of these guys coming out. I mean, these guys are 19, 20 years old. Some develop later than others, and everybody's progression rate is just, like I said, is different. So I think it's unfair to kind of bestow that type of pressure upon De'Aaron Fox, but I can see why people make that comparison. Obviously, both of them can attend Kentucky. There's a huge reason, and I don't know. It's not something I like. As a Lakers fan, a lot of people say, oh, Brandon Ingram, Kevin Durant. No, I mean, body type, yes, somewhat, sure. But stylistically, no. I mean, there's not really a great comparison there. KD was the clear-cut best player in the nation during his time in Texas. Fantastic scorer, marvelous as a freshman. Brandon Ingram showed flashes, but obviously last year we saw that he's not ready to blossom yet. But the great thing about that is what? He's only 20 years old, and he has potentially a huge career ahead of him, a lot of time for the Lakers coaching staff to groom him. Obviously that they have a lot of belief in him, but I just don't like the early on comparisons. Let these guys be their own player. If De'Aaron Fox has a career similar to John Wall, Sacramento will be elated. If he falls short, just a little bit short, that's okay. You know why? Because John Wall is damn good. He's one of the 15 best players, possibly 10 best players in the entire NBA. So if De'Aaron Fox was to fall a little bit short of that, it's okay. Now, if he falls off a cliff, obviously, you know, wasted pick, bust, whatever. But I just don't foresee that for him. I think you have a strong kid with a very strong character, strong will, wants to get better, determined to get better, and determined to bring Sacramento back to the forefront of the Western Conference, a place they haven't been since Chris Webber was playing in their arena.
All right, well, these rookies obviously got some time to develop. 3 years from now, who's going to be an all-star?
3 years from now, I'm going to go with Ben Simmons, and this is why. I think from a talent standpoint, it makes sense, but also you got to consider that the fact that the NBA All-Star game for starters is a popularity contest, let's face it. Now, if Ben Simmons is as dynamic as we expect, he's going to get a lot of votes. Philadelphia fans are starved for good basketball. You have to consider that they're one of the bigger basketball markets in the NBA. They're going to bombard the voting, the all-star voting polls. They're going to infiltrate and blow the thing up, blow the roof off the thing. Then you have to consider back home how many votes Ben Simmons will get. We saw what the Republic of Georgia did for Zaza Pachulia. So imagine if Ben Simmons reaches even close to a superstar status within the next 3 years, the amount of votes that he'll get. I just think it makes most sense for him. Obviously, he's not a part of this rookie class, but he's considered a rookie. I just think that he's going to be an all-star. Lonzo is also a very, very underrated pick. If he's not, if he fares well, if he plays well, if he's not a complete bust, Laker fans obviously have a very strong pull, and he's one of the most compelling. He's one of the most, he's just the center of – everybody wants to see Lonzo ball, whether you love him and you want to see him play well, or you hate him and hate LeVar, you want to see him fall flat on his face. You're going to be watching him. So I think that the intense microscope that Lonzo Ball be placed under may get him an all-star bid in the near future, in the next 3 years. But it's going to be a lot tougher for him because of the how many great guards there are in the West. Russell Westbrook, Stephen Curry, James Harden, Chris Paul, just to name a few. So is it feasible that he supplants those guys? We'll see. But my vote is Ben Simmons.
I agree with you because I made a mock all-star team just for this year. And I think just by the way the basketball is shaped right now with Jimmy Butler and Paul George and other guys like that going to the Eastern Conference or Western Conference, the Eastern Conference doesn't have as many all-star, superstar players. Obviously, they got LeBron, who's the best in the league. But I think Ben Simmons is going to be a reserve in this year's all-star team. I think down the road, say whatever happens to LeBron James with his time in Cleveland, he does have a contract expiring at the end of the year. If he goes west, that only gives Simmons a better shot of making the All-Star team. And if you look at the landscape of the Eastern Conference right now, the Knicks are not very good, the Magic are not very good, the Hawks are not very good. The Eastern Conference is weak. And over the next 3 years, it looks like the Western Conference is still going to be the dominant conference in the league. I think Simmons has an easier shot to become an all-star starter within the next 3 years. I think him making it this year is going to help. And once he starts making some more noise in the Eastern Conference, when him and the Celtics start having more battles in the next 3 years, teams are going to take Philadelphia seriously. When Philly's a good team, you got to look at their best player. And down the road, it's going to be Ben Simmons.
Interesting. So, obviously, we're just talking about who's going to become an all-star. Now, which rookie from this class is going to fall on the opposite end of that coin? Who's going to be a bust? Who has the biggest bust potential in your opinion?
Frank Ntilikina. And I think because he reminds me a little bit of Moutier. Moutier was an international guard, came in, wasn't that good his first couple of years. Obviously, Moutier has one more year to really prove what he's doing, but Ntilikina last year averaged 5.2 points and 1.4 assists per game, and he only shot 0.7 of a three-point shot per game. Those are pretty bad stats to play overseas to then come over to the NBA. He's on a Knicks team that is always in the spotlight in the media, whatever happens with them. Obviously, Knicks fans are upset that they didn't get Dennis Smith Jr., Knicks fans are upset they still have Melo. Knicks fans are upset that they almost traded Kristaps Porzingis this year. Obviously, there were rumors it didn't happen. They're happy he didn't get traded. But it's a mess in New York right now. They're kind of stuck in a really weird spot. They're not very good. Porzingis, obviously, in a couple of years, who knows, or I think a year from now, what's going to happen with his contract. He's not in a good spot. And I think New York, he's going to have a ton of pressure on him, and that pressure is going to get to him real quick.
I almost went with Frank. He's the international man of mystery and mystique. Reminds me kind of a little bit of Dante Exum, just in the fact that we don't know much about his game. We have to wait and see, what he's going to be. I know in the comments, Felix is over here. He's hurting right now, my guy Felix, because his beloved Knicks passed over Dennis Smith Jr. in lieu of Frank. So he has a lot of pressure on his shoulders because, like you said, playing in New York is never an easy task. He's with Carmelo. He's with Porzingis. He's in his post-Phil Jackson drama. And now he's going to be – him and Dennis Smith Jr. are going to be linked for the remainder of their careers. So he has to exceed all expectations. He has to kind of be peeking over, to see. He has to look at that box score every night and see what Dennis Smith Jr. is doing. Now, albeit their opportunities may be a little bit different. Dennis Smith Jr. is going into a clear rebuild situation where the Knicks are kind of in flux. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing. But he has a lot to prove. And I think he is inching towards that bust potential category. But my pick is going to be Malik Monk. And obviously, he slid. He didn't go as high as we anticipated. I just don't know what type of NBA player. Maybe it's more because of my ignorance to what positionally what type of player he's going to be. But that's why I kind of label him as bust potential. Does he have the ball handling chops to be a one? Can he guard bigger and stronger twos? Is he going to be able to score on bigger and stronger twos? We know the kid can shoot the ball, very, very solid stroke. But can he compete defensively? Can he put the ball on the floor? Can he play in a system? I know everybody said he was tailored for the triangle. Can he play and excel in a system that's not the triangle? How will he be utilized? I think Charlotte is a solid fit for him. He's flanked with some good defensive pieces, and Kid Gilchrist. We'll see if Dwight Howard can have a defensive revival. But I'm just not sure what type of player Monk is going to be. And for me, that kind of has me shying away from hopping on his bandwagon. I also am kind of leery of Lauri Markkanen. I don't know. Another guy, like I said, alluded to earlier, I was impressed by his rebounding chops, but does he really have that intensity to bang and compete every single night? He's going to get a lot of minutes on what is going to be a very, very bad Chicago team, especially after Dwayne Wade is bought out, which we presume is going to happen sometime in the next few months. I just want to see it from him. I want to see that toughness, and I feel like it's kind of he's stigmatized because he's from overseas. We always say, oh, those guys are softer, but Porzingis hushed us all up. So I'm interested to see if Markkanen can do the same.
I mean, if Markkanen can make his shots, he'll be on the court.
Oh, for sure. He's has the potential to be an offensive darling. He can catch and shoot. He can put it on the floor a little bit. He can even post up, kind of. So we'll see what he's able to do. I'm interested to see what he does for Frank Hoiberg and the Chicago Bulls. But I want to ask you this. So we've been gushing over these lottery guys, Lonzo Ball and Markelle Fultz and Jonathan Isaac and this, that, and the other. Who's a non-lottery pick? And this is a two-headed question. That's going to have the biggest impact this season, and then is going to have maybe the strongest career going forward.
Well, I think I like the Atlanta Hawks pick of John Collins. They going to the offseason, or this offseason, they lost Paul Millsap to the Denver Nuggets, and they traded Dwight Howard to the Charlotte Hornets. They're not the best team down low. They signed Dwayne Dedmon. They kept Ersan Ilyasova, but Ilyasova is not a shot blocker. Dwayne Dedmon can get some rebounds. I think he's better fit off the bench. He averaged 0.7 blocks per game last year. This team doesn't have much rim protection. I think that's where John Collins is going to play a lot. This is going to be a two-way team. This is going to be a fast team. This is going to be a very long and athletic team. And I think John Collins next to a guy like Dennis Schroeder, Kent Bazemore, Taurean Prince, his versatility, athleticism, rebound ability, shot blocking abilities. He also made the first team he's all first team in the summer league. John Collins has the potential to fit very well with those core players, and I think for a team like Atlanta, they got to move in one direction with their core young pieces. I think Budenholzer is going to give Collins a lot of playing time. It's a defensive structured team. All those guys can play defense. I like Collins' fit this year, and I think it's going to help him down the road. But in 3 years, I got to go with the guy who's not even going to play next year, OG Anunoby, who tore his ACL this year. He was a projected lottery pick that might not even play at all next year. He got taken by the Toronto Raptors. And this is the Toronto Raptors team that traded DeMarre Carroll to the Brooklyn Nets. I have a feeling that Anunoby is going to be the DeMarre Carroll that they thought they were getting when they signed him from the Atlanta Hawks 2 seasons ago. He's a big guy. He's 6'8", 235 pounds with a 7'6" wingspan, who can basically do absolutely everything. He can cover multiple positions. He can play the 4 if you want him to. He's got that wingspan. He's going to be disruptive in the passing lane. He's just a big presence. I mean, DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry it's not the best defensive backcourt in the league. They do need a defensive presence. So down the road, he fits perfectly in what they're trying to do, especially with Serge Ibaka down there. They're going to have multiple guys that can move all around the court. And I think Anunoby is going to be an absolute stud in Toronto because of the system he's in. And 3 years down the road, well, his rookie year is not going to be till next season.
Interesting. I think everybody loves John Collins. How could you not? Those posters that he was putting up on the wall during summer league, and I like what you said. Atlanta is obviously in rebuild mode. Traded Howard, lost Millsap. They have a lot of young guys that are going to be out and running. Schroeder, like you said, Prince, like you said, Collins. He's going to get a lot of touches, a lot of looks. I don't think he's going to be that guy that they look to manufacture offense through, but he'll get his via the scraps. He's going to get the scraps, those putbacks. He's going to catch those lobs, those plays where he has to use one strong power dribble and he explodes up to the rim. So I expect him to they call Atlanta the highlight factory. He's going to be the one pumping out them highlights, man, on that conveyor belt. He's stamp, highlight after highlight, I think is going to come once those minutes start pouring in a big-time way. I also like my guy, Kyle Kuzma. And the reason I say that because I think he's going to make this front court battle very interesting between him, Larry Nance, and Julius Randle. They can deploy him in small ball lineups. Obviously has a lightning quick release, nice versatility on the wing, both offensively and defensively, beaming with confidence. And the most underrated aspect of it all is him and Lonzo developed a really, really rich chemistry during Summer League. And the Lakers hope that spills over into the regular season. And what better way for that to happen than for the two to play together? I think he's going to be one of those guys that kind of has to show it in preseason. And, the Lakers are going to give a real strong consideration to giving him more minutes. But I think that the threat he poses to stealing some of those minutes from Randle and Nance is very, very real. And especially if the Lakers look to move Luol Deng, obviously he's still there. But Kuzma is you can't ignore his talent. You can't ignore his ability. And I think the Lakers understand that, hence the reason they drafted him. He's coming fresh off of a very, very impressive Summer League showing. And those are my two guys that may have a really big impact this season. As for going forward, I like a lot Caleb Swanigan, and I hate to sound like a homer, but Josh Hart. And I like Swanigan because the Blazers, I don't know if they'll use him a lot this year. They still have Myers Leonard up there. Obviously, they have Nurkic up there. They got Noah Vonleh. But they like to initiate a lot of their offense at the elbows. And that's how they use Plumlee. That's how they currently use Nurkic. And Swanigan is very multifaceted. He can pass the ball, score inside and outside, and he can rebound. And his ability to dictate the offensive kind of quarterback it in spurts is going to be that has Terry Stotts excited. Trust me about that. And I think he's a guy that he can be one of those guys where if you get hurt and you're out for a month or 2 months, you might not be coming back to the same amount of minutes that you had before. You might not be coming back to the same position in the rotation that you had before you left, because Swanigan is a guy that's going to seize on that opportunity and capitalize with his play. And I just love Josh Hart. I love his demeanor. I think he's a champ. I think he's eager to get better and learn, and he wants to improve. He's been counted out in the underdog the entire duration of his basketball career. So all he sees in front of him is another challenge. People don't expect him to be a mainstay in the NBA. I'm not saying he's going to be a star, but I think he can be a very, very one of those guys that's a rotational player for a decade. And that's a lot more than what people currently expect. He has championship DNA. He understands how to win. And I just think his character, his coachability is going to make for a very, very long NBA career. Walt, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. You were frozen on my screen. Sorry about that. So 15 years from now, someone goes, I want you to write a redraft of the 2017 NBA draft. Who's going to have the best overall career down the road from now? Who do you think is going to be the best player coming out of this draft class?
I want to say Lonzo. Obviously, I want to say Lonzo. I want to say Fultz. I'm going to have to go with Dennis Smith Jr. I just think everything considered, all the intangibles, his current situation, his current coach, I just think that he is primed for an explosive NBA career. Barring any major injuries, I think that he's going to be the guy that teams are like, damn, we shouldn't have passed on this kid. And I think it might remind you kind of the Steph Curry thing. And I'm not trying to say that Dennis Smith Jr. is going to become the caliber of player that Steph Curry is. But what I mean by that is a lot of teams weren't sure. he ended up getting picked, and now look, he's the 2-time MVP, 2-time champion, best shooter ever. Probably going to go down as one of the 5, 6, 7, 8 best point guards to ever do it. And teams, if they go back to that day, they're probably just thinking, damn, we could have had that guy. That could have been us. That could have been ours. And I think that we may see something similar with Dennis Smith Jr., especially with the Knicks. It just feels like the basketball gods, for some odd reason, want to punish the Knicks. And what better punishment would there be than for Dennis Smith Jr. to have a decorated career? It'd be like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like is destined to happen. That's what's been ordained to happen. So that's my vote. I'm going to go with Dennis Smith Jr.
I know a lot of people out there are going to call me biased because of who I'm choosing here, but I spent a lot of my summer doing a lot of research on these prospects. And for those who don't know, I'm a diehard Boston Celtics fan. When they had the number 1 pick, obviously I was all in on Markelle Fultz. After I did a little bit more research, I didn't exactly want him. As I started doing more research, I love Jason Tatum's offensive game. I think he's the most complete offensive player in this draft class. He came from Coach K and is now going to Brad Stevens. That's a great coach to go from one to another. Brad Stevens is an incredible coach. He thrives with defensive-minded wings. That's kind of who he's had. But when he had Gordon Hayward in college, now he has Gordon Hayward in the pros, he had the offensive talent to lead a team all the way to the national championship twice. And I think now that he has Hayward, he has Tatum, he has an offensive arsenal that is going to blow people away. I think Tatum's going to be in Boston for a while. I think his overall offensive abilities are off the charts. He can score from all over the court. He's going to be a threat on a nightly basis. And I have a feeling that all said and done, I think Tatum's the best player in this draft.
I was unsure about Jason Tatum going into things, but he really convinced me with his showing in Summer League, and I think he's an impressive young rookie. And him and Jaylen Brown, they're going to be tough going forward, man. Seriously. But I wanted to ask you, which rookie versus rookie matchup are you going to be into the most this season? Who are you really looking to square off?
Well, this thing, you got to look at divisions. Who's going to play each other the most? And you look at Fultz and you look at Jason Tatum. They don't match up against each other. So then you go out west. You see Lonzo Ball and De'Aaron Fox. They're both the point guards. They both don't like each other. Fox won in college, so Ball's going to want some rematch in this situation. And they're going to play each other 5 times next year. I can't wait to see Lonzo play De'Aaron Fox. LeVar's going to obviously have a field day if Lonzo wins that battle. But these two had it going in college. De'Aaron Fox scored 39 points against him when they met in the NCAA tournament. If the Kings and the Lakers want to get that rivalry going again, these are the two guys you got to have going at each other.
You know what? I agree. I think Lonzo Ball and De'Aaron Fox is going to be a very, very, very interesting matchup. It's going to be hyped. They're looking forward to go after each other, and they're looking to rekindle, like you said, that rivalry. You know, we obviously know the history of Lakers and Kings. We can go back. It's very storied, very controversial. So I think those two are looking to kind of shoulder the load going into that next decade. They want to write the next chapter of their rivalry. The pen has kind of been down on the pad for a little bit, but these two are capable of picking it back up and rewriting the history that is the Kings-Lakers rivalry. But my answer is, I guess, it's 2 versus 1, but nonetheless, it's just the aura, the hype surrounding it. Both the games between the two are nationally televised, and that is Lonzo Ball against Markelle Fultz and Ben Simmons. This is just for the simple fact because we know the hype surrounding Lonzo. We understand that everybody knows who Lonzo Ball is. Markelle Fultz went first, but it seems like Lonzo Ball's hype supersedes that of Markelle Fultz. Ben Simmons went first last year. He's a rookie this year. He made comments during the NBA draft during a LeVar Ball interview about crazy pills. Joel Embiid happened to chime in and say, dunking him so hard that his daddy has to run on the court. We know there's some strife here. These two teams do not like each other. And it's already beginning. I mean, they haven't even squared off yet. And the trash talk and the animosity is just so thick. It's so thick and it's so authentic. It can't be faked. And everybody's going to be watching when the Lakers and Sixers play. Sixers, when the Lakers come here, Lonzo Ball is going to be terrorized all season long on the road. Oh, no question about it. But when he comes to Philadelphia, oh, they're going to try to shut that big baller parade down, man. They're going to give him everything that they have got. Every ounce of hate that they can pour out onto that kid, they're going to give it to him. Trust me. And I'm interested to see how he combats that, because to me, Lonzo is a kid who, it doesn't seem like pressure phases him. He seems calm, cool, and collected. Like he's ready to pounce and he's ready to do his thing regardless of what the fans are saying or what anyone else says. You know, it seems like he's really not intimidated by the naysayers or the critique. And I think that he has a lot of faith and will instilled in him, and that's what's going to help him in these situations on the road. And I just think that the city of Philly and LA coming together, I just think that is going to be the most compelling watch of rookies being pitted against rookies. And I'm very, very, very excited for it. And as you can see, my little tangent, you know, I'm juiced, man. I can't wait.
So is Lonzo the most pressurized rookie in because you said, well, Fultz went 1, Ball went 2, but Ball's getting most of the attention. Is he the most pressurized rookie we've seen in a while?
I'm going to say probably yes. And the reason I'm going to say he's the most pressurized rookie that we've had in quite some time is just because obviously everything that his father has placed on him, his outlandish comments from saying that Zoe is better than Steph Curry to saying that he can beat Michael Jordan 101. But everybody understands that for LeVar Ball, this is entertainment, and this is a way to boost his brand, boost his standing in the basketball world, and ultimately to give his son the shine that he believes that he deserves. Some people call it exploitation. Others call it comedic. Wherever you fall, that's up to you. But everybody wants to see what Lonzo Ball is going to do. And it also, the fact that he plays for the Lakers it amplifies everything. It takes us to a height that it wouldn't be at if he played for Milwaukee or in Orlando or in Indiana. Being in LA, having his dreams materialize, being the guy that looks to yank the Lakers out of the misery that they've been in, and kind of put them back on the map post-Kobe, who is arguably the greatest Laker of all time and arguably the most popular Laker of all time. There is a lot of expectations placed squarely on the shoulders of Lonzo Ball. And it's just like almost everybody on the Lakers becomes somewhat of an afterthought. I mean, D'Angelo Russell got traded. Fans were upset. Fans were fretting. We watched Lonzo play in Summer League, and it was just like, holy cow, you know, D'Angelo who? Ice him out what? We don't remember that. And being in Vegas and seeing the pool that Lonzo already has, entire Thomas and Mack Center sold out to see this kid play. That's the type of pool that he has. That's the type of pressure that's going to be on him all season long. He's a rookie that's going to demand a lot of ratings. It's going to draw a lot of attention and draw a lot of fans. Not many rookies are capable of doing that the way he's already done. And then granted, it was just Summer League, but he's already done in the summer. So imagine what happens during the regular season. I just think that there's a lot of pressure from the outside world that's coming at this kid, and it's kind of like he has his basketball shield and he's starting it off. He's just ready for everything. And I think that there's going to be moments, there's going to be some very, very bad moments, some very, very – it's going to be a lot of lows. But I think the highs are going to make it all worth it.
Well, I think you said it best because of where he is in Los Angeles. I do agree. I think LeVar Ball has managed to anger NBA stars, NBA coaches, and even shoe deals didn't want to sign him. The thing with Lonzo Ball is one thing that kind of aggravated me in the summer league, I don't know if you noticed this because you were there, the media is always trying to get quotes from LeVar, and LeVar doesn't stop talking. So everything is all centered around him because of his father. When he played well in the summer league, they praised him. When he played bad in the summer league, the media was all over him. And I think the fact that he's his own name now, like Air Jordan, now it's Big Baller Brand, puts even more pressure on him because, as you said, his father's out there just trying to help his brand. I do think LeVar, I mean, he's a very supportive parent. I think he's going a little overboard because now he's a celebrity. He's a very well-known person in the sports world. But, yeah, there's a ton of pressure on Lonzo Ball. If he fails, it's just not going to look good. If he's praised, a lot of people are still not going to like him if he's really good. But especially his rookie season, this whole process, everyone talked about Lonzo Ball, and it all had to go back to his father. So I'm interested to see what his father's like throughout the NBA season because you know the media is going to be looking for him.
Very true. He's created a substantial media hype machine, man. He's done a great job of orchestrating it all, and the greatest payoff would be Lonzo becoming the all-star that he's predicted, obviously, since he's been playing basketball. But I want to end this with our last segment. We're going to play a quick word association game. We're each going to say 4 words, 4 attributes rather, and we're going to name the rookie that it fits most for. So you're going to kick us off. Let's get it cracking.
All right, superstar.
Superstar, Lonzo Ball. So my word for you, term rather, most athletic.
Terrence Ferguson.
Okay, give it a go. Come on.
Defense.
Donovan Mitchell. Straps, baby. Straps. Strap them up. Strap them up. Okay, my turn for you. Sharpshooter.
Luke Kennard. He's not missing a shot in Detroit.
I like that.
Versatility.
I'm going to have to go with Josh Jackson. My turn for you. Toughness.
You mentioned him earlier. Donovan Mitchell, baby.
I like that,
Got
man.
his hammer.
That kid is tough.
All right. Now we're going to be probably using this for every single rookie now forever until you know who retires. Who's the big baller of this draft class?
Big them triple B's, baby. Big baller, Brand. Lonzo Ball. Listen, by the way, I'm the 4th ball brother. Big baller Beach. Lakers in the house, baby.
How many of those big baller shirts you got?
Listen, man, I'm going to make Big Baller Brand fashionable here. Listen, LeVar, if you watching, LeVar Ball, if you out there, I got a message for you, man. I'm going to make Big Baller Brand fashionable right here in the tri-state area. I'm going to bring the heat, man. Just wait till the fall. Wait till I cop that gear, man. Just wait. All right, my turn for you. Score.
I'm going to go with Jason Tatum, baby.
Very good pick. Very good pick. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the conclusion of the first episode of Society Sitdown. I hope you enjoyed Alec, Walt, and I chatting. We sure enjoyed the conversation that we had discussing this rookie class. Who's going to be a star? Who's going to be a bust? Whatever you do in your evaluation, just please give these kids some time. I'm 22, man. I'm older than these kids. These are young bucks. They're out there hooping, trying to get better, trying to progress, trying to elevate to that all-star level. Don't be rushed in your evaluation. Don't be rushed in your assessment. Just be patient, man. Just be patient. That's all I'm saying. So till next week, same time, Thursday, we'll be back. Alec, Walt, and I. Hit us on social media. He's at Alec Walt. I am at WC Boyer 24. And be sure to follow the Basketball Society, man. We got Facebook. We got Twitter, which is at B-Ball Society, _. And we got Instagram, which is just
we got the best basketball Instagram account out there.
Listen, man, you don't believe this, man. You don't want to believe this, man. I'm gonna show y'all need to prove. Go ahead and follow, man. Hit that follow. You see it. Oh, it's a little bright. Basketball.
I stopped following other
Basketball Society. Here we go. Listen, hit us with that follow, man. You see how we doing out here. So peace and love to everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Next week, peace.